pretty good in those kind of games.
Hummel dishes to Brown. Kicks it to Payne. The 17-footer. Trained for 2 points. Detroit with the ball. They're on an 18-6 run.
As you said, with the Wolves, third in the league when it came to scoring against the East, but they were also near the bottom in points allowed.
Oh, man, what a play. And this sort of awesome dunk is one of the reasons this team is in charge of this game right now.
Clark, there is a swagger out here on the court that they possess and are not afraid to show it either.
That's right.
Those are phenomenal dunks to watch. So much fun.
And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. Minnesota shooting their initial free throws of the game right here.
Well, pretty good numbers for this club a year ago, Kevin. 78% as a team from the free throw line.
You know, Kevin, they would love to post a similar percentage again this season. I mean, I think that's safe to say they'd love to shoot free throws as well as they did a year ago.
Gotta love the use of the bounce pass there. Perfect feed.
And we reached the end of the first quarter. The Pistons on top, up by 9. And we'll get the second quarter underway on the other side of this break. Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start this second quarter. And guys, looking at what you've seen so far from the Pistons, what do you think?
And the difference to this point has been defense. This club has really gotten after it, and that's what's gotten them this lead.
Well, there's nothing that's gone up that hasn't been contested so far.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. So on the floor for Minnesota, Payne out there with Robbie Hummel. Then there's Buddingham. Then it's Wiggins. And it's Brown in the point guard position.
They're getting on a roll inside. Their last 3 field goals have come from inside the paint area.
The defense has to make an adjustment. They've got to string together some stops, or at the very least, try to force this team into some bad shots.
I like that they're taking it inside and taking advantage of each opportunity, Clark, to chip away at the deficit.
Yeah, and doing it with the dunk is a major energizer, too. Gets the momentum going.
Yeah, and I think the interior defense, as good a job offensively as we saw. The defensive presence was almost non-existent. They may see this lead disappear if they continue to give up those easy points.
Here is Lucas, following the bucket by the Timberwolves.
Adrian Payne, a senior forward out of Michigan State, 6'10", got a 7'4" wingspan. You like his combination of length and shooting range. Started playing the game late, but really developed in his time with the Spartans, his shooting stroke in particular.
You and I called a lot of this guy's games in college. Adrian Payne from Michigan State has overcome his share of adversity, certainly losses in his family, and he dealt with mononucleosis during last season.
Yeah, and considering all of that, Kevin, it's quite impressive he was able to play as well as he did, but he's made a habit of overcoming challenges, and anytime you can work through adversity, got to help you as a pro.
And the Timberwolves making a change here. Martin's checked in.
One of the problems for the Pistons last year was they seemed to collapse late in games. Found a lot of opportunities that went awry due to poor performances in the fourth quarter.
You talk about the Pistons letting games go late. They were one of the worst teams in the fourth quarter in both defense and scoring.
Pistons leading by 4. Got a piece of it. And stolen by Hamilton. Moving it up. A finish. And finished off by Martin.
textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
It feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
And Jackson with the block. Now Detroit moving it up. Butler with the ball. Picked up by Brown. Butler attacking. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot two. Thinking again about Detroit, Clark, it would have been fatigue or just careless basketball that did him in late, but they really did just run out of steam, it seemed like, every game.
Well, it shows that you can play well for 3 quarters, even great at times for 3 quarters, 36, 38, 40 minutes. But you and I always talk about it's a 48-minute game, and you've got to run through the finish line, not to it.
Well, last season for Butler, he knew he was going to be in a rebuilding situation with the Bucks, but when they bought him out at the end of February, he had a chance to join a real contender.
The Pistons leading. Drummond sets the screen for Butler. Inside, ball's knocked loose. And now the Timberwolves on the break. Here's Martin. He nails it, and we're tied up. Martin's got 4 points this quarter.
Not much the defense can do once he gets to the bucket.
Butler is screen on Brown. Jackson with it. Picked up by Brown. And Monroe kicks to Butler. The timely screen gave him a step, and he took it all the way. Butler's got 8 points.
Boy, they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing that ball into the paint. Smash mouth basketball.
Yeah, and it's a strategy that has served them well in this opening half, Clark.
Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Gentlemen, as you know, Andrew Wiggins was taken as the first overall pick of a talented 2014 class, but should have no problem with the pressure. He's been hyped as the next big thing for quite some time. He said, I think playing at Kansas really prepares you for this. You're basically treated like a rock star wherever you go. I think that really translates to the NBA. Gentlemen.
Unlimited potential, Doris. Thank you very much. And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here. Minnesota making a switch. Levine's checked in. A different look here for Detroit. The Pistons have gone 2 of 3 from the field here to open the second quarter. And here is Lucas. At the elbow, Williams. He kicks to Meeks. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And the dunk to finish it off. A beauty. This game's going to take a big swing. Clark, if the D continues to clear out like that and give up easy dunks.
Yeah, that's the kind of defense we expect to see in a blowout, Kevin, or even an exhibition game, not a close game like this.
Look how frustrated Steve is on this.
Well, I just, you know what, Kevin? Come on, Kevin. I just like that he didn't choose to just lay it up there. I mean, he threw it down with force. That's foul number 2 on him. It might not warrant sitting him entirely, but another one before halftime, they could be in some trouble.
And stolen by Hamilton.
I don't know how they're in front right now. It's not easy to give the ball up as much as they have and still be ahead.
Yeah, we're talking double-digit turnovers in the first half. I mean, you can't just cough up the ball like that. They've got to improve on that in the second half. Yeah, he didn't have to slow down at all, guys. Just perfectly timed pass there.
Timberwolves trail by 4. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. Now here is Martin. 10 points for him. And it's Martin again missing.
Boy, we don't see that too often. No defender on him, and he just clanks the open jumper.
Prince in the corner. A baseline J. Meeks passes to Prince. He feeds it to Lucas. 5 on the clock. Screened by Lucas. Meeks.
Jody Meeks, a 6'4 floor shooting specialist. A starter last season with the Lakers. He had his best year of his career. Very effective in what became a larger role for him offensively with LA.
Shooting 100% in the quarter. They've made them all, taking full advantage at the line.
Well, it's a nice job of really making the most of their opportunities. Well, you kind of expect that from him. You pretty much know what the result's going to be when he goes to the line.
Here's Levine, and it's off from three-point range. And Meeks with his best season last year, but still probably best suited to a reserve role.
Yeah, I think that's the case. He can shoot it. He competes at the defensive end. He's smart, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's not going to give you rebounding and playmaking, but what he gives you is pretty good.
And he gets it to go.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
Yep, that's 5 of their last 6 baskets inside the lane. They have really established themselves inside.
Minnesota calls timeout.
Well, Tayshaun Prince, a terrific player in his time with that championship Detroit Pistons team of years past, but his decline over the last 5 years has been noticeable. Ever since he hit 30, it's been downhill.
Payne, he's checked in for Minnesota. Wiggins comes in for Brown. Martin attacking. Here's Levine. No good, and they can't put an end to this drought.
Not a good look at the hoop. They've got to do a better job offensively creating some space.
And for Prince, now 34 years of age, with this season and next left on his contract.
Yeah, still a smart veteran who doesn't make many mistakes, but it's certainly clear that his best days are behind him.
Levine kicks to Martin. Dishes to Wiggins. They get it again. That one's good, and the Piston lead is cut down to just 8 points with the bucket from Hamilton.
You know, that putback's about as easy as it's going to get. You have to put a body on someone down there.
Well, no box out. That's the result you get right there.
Meeks dishes to Lucas. Pass to Meeks. Anthony with the screen on Martin. And the call will be against Kevin Martin. That is his first foul of the game. And the Pistons, an entirely new group now out there. Monroe, right side. The dish to Caldwell Pope. Just 5 to shoot. Will not go. This is off the front iron. Timberwolves trailed by 8. Martin goes in. Wasted no time on that shot, but it's off the mark. The Pistons have gone 6 of 8 from the field in the second quarter. Drummond passes to Monroe. Butler with the ball. Now defended by Wiggins. Jackson. It's good from long range. Jackson's got 11 points. Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation.
Man, a real mental lapse there at a terrible time.
Well, Steve, it would have been a big gaffe anytime, but especially when you're behind.
Now here's Jackson. They lead by 11, the largest margin of the game. Here's Caldwell Pope. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. Tavius Pope, KCP, drafted 8th overall last season by the Pistons. Steve drafting for neither.
Yeah, Caldwell Pope coming out of Georgia. He's got that 3-point range. Really promising defender, too, at that 2-guard spot.
And he can't hit the second.
And KCP struggling somewhat with his shot in his first season. Mostly stayed on the perimeter. He didn't get inside that often to try to get himself going. Sometimes you can get your perimeter game going by going inside. So we'll have to see how his offensive game progresses as his second season goes on.
Now here is Monroe. Following the miss by Andrew Wiggins. Shot from the wing. And Monroe kicks to Drummond. Out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession.
Boy, just a brain cramp, guys. I mean, that should have been the simplest of exchanges.
Minnesota making a switch here. Hummel's checked in. The Timberwolves again can't hit.
And for Caldwell Pope, a volume scorer at Georgia. He'd certainly shown the confidence to hit tough.
Oh, ridiculous.
What a move.
Tore it down that time. Tell you what, he's going to put that one in his scrapbook. Absolutely insane with that dunk.
Well, now they're starting to rub it in, aren't they?